Welcome to Long Story Short. Today we are traveling to the cold, paranoid halls of Elsinore Castle in Denmark to dissect William Shakespeare's most famous, most deeply analyzed psychological tragedy, Hamlet. Imagine you are a brilliant, philosophical college student. You come home for your father's funeral, only to discover that your mother has immediately married your uncle. Then, your father's ghost appears and tells you your uncle actually murdered him. On the surface, this is a classic revenge thriller. But just beneath the sword fights and the poison wine lies a paralyzing autopsy of human inaction, deep clinical depression, and the terrifying weight of mortality. We are going to break down exactly why this play changed literature forever and why the Prince of Denmark simply cannot bring himself to act. Long story short, Hamlet is not just a play about revenge. It is a story about a man who thinks entirely too much. It shows us that when you obsessively analyze every single angle of a problem, the universe will ultimately step in and violently solve it for you. First, let's establish the incredibly toxic political environment. Denmark is preparing for war, but inside the castle, things are even worse. The old King Hamlet is dead. His brother Claudius has taken the throne and immediately married the widowed queen Gertrude. Our protagonist, Prince Hamlet, is disgusted. He wears completely black clothing and openly mourns, furious that his mother moved on in less than 2 months. The inciting incident happens at midnight. The ghost of King Hamlet appears on the castle battlements. He tells young Hamlet a terrifying secret. Claudius poured a lethal poison into his ear while he was sleeping in the orchard. The ghost gives Hamlet one strict, impossible command: avenge his murder, but do not harm his mother, Gertrude. Hamlet swears to take revenge. To buy himself time to investigate, he tells his friends he is going to put on an antic disposition, meaning he is going to pretend to be completely insane. This decision drives the entire plot. Hamlet is a philosopher, not a soldier. He does not know if the ghost is actually his father or a demon sent from hell to trick him into committing treason. So, he stalls. He wanders the castle, delivering massive, brilliant soliloquies questioning the fundamental nature of existence. This leads to the most famous speech in human history: to be or not to be. Hamlet is literally debating suicide. He wonders if it is nobler to suffer the miserable pain of life or to just kill himself. But he concludes that the terrifying unknown of the afterlife is the only thing keeping humanity alive. To test Claudius's guilt, Hamlet hires a group of traveling actors to perform a play for the royal court. The play features a scene where a king is murdered by having poison poured into his ear. Hamlet calls it the Mousetrap. During the performance, Claudius completely panics. He stands up, stops the play, and runs out of the room. Hamlet finally has his absolute proof. If Shakespeare's complex Elizabethan poetry feels intimidating, and you want to truly understand the intense psychological warfare happening in Hamlet's mind, I have linked the best modern audiobooks and annotated physical copies in the description below. Listening to a professional Shakespearean actor deliver the to be or not to be speech is the only way to truly grasp the emotion. For now, let's look at the catastrophic consequences of Hamlet's hesitation. After the play, Hamlet finds Claudius alone, praying on his knees. Hamlet draws his sword. This is the perfect moment, but Hamlet overthinks it again. He reasons that if he kills Claudius while he is praying, Claudius will go straight to heaven. Hamlet wants to kill him when he is sinning, so he goes to hell. Hamlet puts his sword away and walks out. Hamlet goes to confront his mother in her bedroom. During the argument, he hears someone hiding behind the heavy tapestries. Thinking it is Claudius, Hamlet finally acts on pure, blind impulse. He stabs his sword through the curtain. But he doesn't kill Claudius. He kills Polonius, the king's incredibly annoying, long-winded advisor. This single mistake destroys everything. Polonius has 2 children, a son named Laertes and a daughter named Ophelia. Hamlet and Ophelia were romantically involved before the play began, but Hamlet had brutally rejected her as part of his fake insanity act. The trauma of Hamlet's rejection, combined with the sudden, violent murder of her father, completely breaks Ophelia's mind. She goes genuinely insane, wanders the castle singing fragmented songs, and eventually drowns herself in a river. Meanwhile, Laertes returns from France. This is crucial for your essays. Laertes is Hamlet's ultimate character foil. Both men had their fathers murdered, but while Hamlet sits around thinking about it for months, Laertes immediately raises a mob, kicks down the castle doors, and demands blood. Claudius uses Laertes' fury to his advantage. He sets up a rigged fencing match between Hamlet and Laertes to settle the dispute, but it is a trap. Laertes' sword will be unblunted and tipped with the lethal poison, and just in case Hamlet wins, Claudius prepares a backup plan, a poisoned cup of wine to offer Hamlet when he gets thirsty. The final scene is a complete bloodbath. During the duel, Queen Gertrude accidentally drinks from the poisoned cup meant for Hamlet. Laertes slashes Hamlet with the poisoned blade. In the ensuing scuffle, they drop their swords and accidentally swap them. Hamlet then stabs Laertes with his own poisoned weapon. As Gertrude falls dead and Laertes realizes he has been betrayed by the king, he confesses the entire plot to Hamlet. With poison literally coursing through his veins, knowing he has only minutes to live, Hamlet finally acts. He stabs King Claudius with the poisoned sword and forces the rest of the poison wine down his throat. Hamlet, Laertes, Gertrude, and Claudius all die. Hamlet's best friend, Horatio, wants to kill himself too, but Hamlet begs him to stay alive to tell his story. The play ends with a foreign army marching into the castle, taking over the entire country simply because the Danish royal family has completely annihilated itself. Clears throat. To guarantee an A on your final essay, you need to master 3 foundational symbols and themes from this text. First, Yorick's skull. In Act 5, Hamlet finds the skull of his childhood jester in the graveyard. He holds it up and delivers the famous line, "Alas, poor Yorick!" The skull is the ultimate symbol of physical death and the great equalizer. Hamlet realizes that whether you are a great king like Alexander the Great or a lowly fool, every single human being eventually turns to dust. Second, poison and corruption. Poison is the literal weapon used to kill almost every major character, but it is also a massive metaphor. The ghost describes Claudius's crime as an infection. Hamlet famously says, "Something is rotten in the state of Denmark." The play argues that a single corrupt leader acts as a poison that spreads through the entire nation, inevitably destroying the innocent along with the guilty. Third, the theme of procrastination versus action. Shakespeare brilliantly contrasts Hamlet with 2 other characters, Laertes and young Prince Fortinbras of Norway. Fortinbras is willing to go to war over a worthless patch of dirt just for the sake of honor. Laertes is willing to damn his own soul to hell to get revenge. Hamlet's tragic flaw is that his massive intellect paralyzes his ability to act, causing far more death than if he had simply killed Claudius in Act 1. The ultimate takeaway for your finals? Hamlet is the ultimate tragedy of the human mind. It proves that excessive thought without decisive action is just as dangerous as thoughtless violence. If you have a paper or a test coming up, watching a summary gets you the plot, but reading Shakespeare's actual dialogue is where you master the material. Click the Amazon or Audible link in the description to get the full version of Hamlet right now. That is the long story short. Please like and subscribe for more literature breakdowns. See you in the next one.